Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Oh, hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day. But that's okay, because normally that would technically be my last day of work, but working overtime, second job, the whole deal, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got dinner going, things are going good. I need a little pick-me-up, or a little relaxy. And I was just watching, I'm going to check the comments on some of my old YouTube ones and videos, and it was the Chimay Gauntlet for the 13-year anniversary of PABrewNews was like, hey, next time do that. You should do that every year, but also get the green one. And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't do the green one because it doesn't come in that pack. So I was like, ooh, look, the green one. So this is a Tripel. No, this is the white one is a Tripel. This one is a Belgian Strong Blonde. I've probably reviewed this on the channel already, but you know what? Re-reviews don't hurt. They don't hurt anything. And it's all about the enjoyment and watching and sharing it with me, with you. We share. So there you go. Plus, a lot of people said they haven't seen me in a while and stuff like that. So, and when I start doing beer reviews again, it's really nice when they go, hey, oh, cool, you're still around. I'm like, I am still around. Still here. Still here and feeling good. So, anywho, let's get into it. So, proper glassware. Probably a dirty glass mafia, but still proper glassware. This is the Chimay, and this is the Strong Blonde Ale, Beer Blonde Forte, and that comes in at 10% alcohol by volume. I'm multitasking, of course. I got dinner cooking. Don't worry. I got this down to a science, or I burn things. It's either or. One of those two. I'm usually pretty good. Alright. You know, actually, the one time I did overcook the one type of noodle I was cooking. And ooh, nice pop. It's definitely not cool, you know, it's a room temperature thing kind of deal. But that was a hell of a pop. That's the biggest pop I've had in one of these in a long time. Anyway, so I overcooked the noodles, so they're kind of slightly like, you know, just soft and pasty. So then what I did was I ended up buttering the pan and then kind of like frying them, crisping them on each side, like almost like a pancake, and then adding the stuff to the top. It was actually really good. I was like, ooh, I might want to do that again. So here we go. There it is. Paid 17 the American dollars for this. I don't know if that's good or bad, to be perfectly honest, because you just do not find Belgian beers in my area anymore. I mean, if you want to drive an hour in one direction, yeah, you probably find some Belgian beers. But in my local, like 45-minute vicinity, you just can't find Belgian beers anymore, except for Maloney's in Danville, and I really appreciate that. He does a hell of a job, and I can generally pick up some Belgian goodness. And yes, the camera is fucking crooked. I just want you to know that, but whatever. So here it is. Now, I was almost going to get the Tripel, which would be like $3 cheaper. So this is 17. That would probably have been, you know, close to 14. So, but that's 8%, and this is 10%. And the 10% won the day for me. So let's do it. Cheers. This one has like almost like a hint of a red apple kind of going on through it too. Phenol. Definitely has a spicy, earthy, a little bit of a clove, coriander tonality, a little bit of lemongrass. But it definitely has like that wheat tonality. Bready, wheat, like white pepper, clove, a little coriander. Has, like I said, a little bit of a red apple soft hint to it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But definitely you have that 10% wafting through. Stop. Like I said, a little bit of like a lemongrass herbaceousness as well. Let's get into it. Cheers. Drying on the palate. Herbaceous, again, earthy, earthy pepperiness, kind of like a soft clove mentality, tonality, not mentality, tonality wafting through there, mixing with a nice earthiness. It definitely has a minerality to it as well, all the way back at the palate, drying it out. Yeah, I don't know if it's the hop they use, but definitely like a very earthy minerality kind of wafting through. So a little bit of the water quality, obviously, and then of course the hop tonality, earthy, herbaceous tonality. It wants to get a little bit of that nice bready sweetness, and then just the phenols, the ethanol alcohol from that 10%, and that earthiness. Like, just no, you don't. Like, oh, here I come, sweet. No, you don't. You have the kind of a line running through the beer of a soft, like soft hint of a zesty lemongrass kind of like tonality with the herbaceousness, and a subtle zesty tonality, and it just blends all the way, and there's that earthiness grows and grows and grows, and the minerality, that dryness grows and grows and grows. But it does make it easy to go in for another one, so it is a dangerous beer. Wheat tonality, grassy, herbal. Sharp. It's a sharp finish to this beer. Very dry. So if you like more of a savory beer with a lot of sweet tonalities and things lingering on the palate, almost the premium. I did not get that out of the 750, the premium. It was a bit drier. So if they had a smaller version of this, maybe it wouldn't be as abrasively dry. But the bigger bottle, I noticed, didn't have that lingering, sweet, just robust, savory quality that the smaller bottle did. So I don't know if there was an age variation, so the older it gets, the drier it gets, those kind of things. But I did notice that a difference between the small bottle and the 750. So if this was in a smaller bottle, it might be a little bit more on the sweeter side to balance it out. But right now, this is a very drying beer. But a very good beer. It's still a very good beer. So that's good. And it's 10%. So that's good. Yeah. I haven't been really like editing my videos too much, except for just like making sure they face the right way and it's bright enough you can see what's going on. But I haven't been putting music to my beer reviews, and I do think I just should, because it fills up a lot of the silence, that pontificating, the reflective nature of when you drink a big beer and you're trying to dissect the flavor compounds and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of my videos without the music, it's just like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like all that silence. Not that I don't stop talking a lot, because, man, I got poison from doing lawn work. I hate that. You can kind of tell, pretty sure you can, that now we have sedimentation kind of mixing in with the show, bringing in more of a bready sweetness. But it's always important, in my mind, to get really just a clear beer, and really get that flavor of the clear beer, because that's what the beer tastes like, not the sedimentation that you're going to drop in there and mix it all out and get all this huge breadiness. You want to see what's underneath that breadiness, and that's why it's very important to make sure that the first time you taste the beer, it's pure and clear, without that sedimentation. You don't have to do it a lot, but for the benefit of knowing what the base beer tastes like, you should really just pour a little bit, let it settle, enjoy it, get grips of what the Belgian beer tastes like, and then pour, mix up, get the yeast in there, the whole deal. But And I find a lot of the times I prefer the beer without the sedimentation. So, and then when I gets to this point in time, I go, oh yeah, now it's a bready mess and blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. It was better when it wasn't, you know. But this is nice too because it's putting that layer, that diffused layer around all those sharp edges, and it's making the beer just ridiculously smooth now. That citrus quality is amped up now. We'll just get a slight orange vibe as well, mixing it with that lemon. Still got it's very intense breadiness, still earthy pepperiness, but that sharpness, that drying sharpness, has definitely dissipated, and it's been wrapped in that bready cocoon. So. It's my only beer, so to drink tonight. I'm trying to savor it a little bit, you know. There it is. Do I like paying $17 for a beer like this? No, I do not. Because technically speaking, I would rather buy a 4-pack for $17. I'd rather buy a 4-pack of. Honestly, I could get a 4-pack of 16-ounce triple IPAs for $17 from New Trail. So, but there's something about the big 750s of Belgian beers with hundreds and almost 1,000 years technically of brewing tradition and just quality and all that backstory that goes behind around it and stuff, that you just got like, need that. Indeed. One of the things that happened about 10 years ago, 10 to 15 now, time just keeps on moving, doesn't it? When the craft beer boom really exploded, especially in Pennsylvania, we didn't know what was going to go on. Maybe they're going to push the big guys out, you know, those kind of things. We were so blindsided. It's a shame. But what happened was the big guys kept getting bigger, and they were making a lot of fake craft brewing companies like Trouble Brewing and things like that to like deface the name of craft beer, because they made everything have that medicinal bitterness and things. They were just being bastards, but that's what corporations do. So the craft beer got big. The bigger guys just stayed bigger guys, but unfortunately, in a lot of areas in Pennsylvania, the European import just dropped. They dropped all their licenses because they just wanted to get all this craft beer and stuff and keep the mainstay big boys. So they dropped licenses for European things, so that they just disappeared off the market. And you know, honestly, we had a limited stock as it was. You know, even we can't even get Tyskie or anything like that anymore. So it's a real shame. Saying too much, but that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm so happy that I can get Chimay, for example, in a nice big bottle still. You know, so I'm trying not to take it for granted. So one of these now and again is a treat. I can't even get Unibrew now, but it's official. I can't get the license for Unibrew in my. I mean, you can still go get Unibrew somewhere else, and I think people don't really understand what I'm saying about that. Licenses differentiate between where you are in Pennsylvania, and people have certain licenses for certain distributors and certain brewing companies and blah 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 blah. So yes, you can go to Harrisburg, you can go to Philly, you can go to Pittsburgh, you can get whatever the hell you want pretty much, but you can't get it where I am. You know, that's sort of the rural areas, and I'm not even as rural as where I'd like to live later. In Pennsylvania, where it's just really full scale. Well, if I get out there, I'm gonna hit the bars and drink the local stuff, and then I'll be home brewing in my shelf, and that's my craft beer. I'll just be home brewing like a bastard, doing that, and then just going to my local favorite bars in the area and just drinking Schraubs and having a great time doing it. You know, those kind of things. Anyway, back to this really nice beer. I actually really appreciate the fact that I took the time to learn what this beer tasted like without the sediment. It's a drying beer. It's an abrasive beer. It's a beer that really commands attention when you drink it. Like, wow, okay. Um, and then it turns a whole nother corner and puts the wool on it, and it just becomes this smooth, really enjoyable, semi sweet, um, dangerous 10% Belgian strong. So Belgian strong blonde. Mm, wow. Yeah, everything just it really does come together with this one. I can say, wow. I'm usually like at this point in time when I got all the sediment in, I go, oh man, I really wish I didn't have the sedimentation. I've said it a lot because, I mean, I just say what I say. I say the truth. You know, what's wrong with that? I don't care what people say, like offensive. If it's the truth, then you got to change something about what you're doing. If you're offended by the truth, but oh man, I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's really drying, abrasive beer, nice beer, and then I'm having this. I'm like, that's a nice beer. Holy shit! So it amped it up, got to that next level, and the nice thing is, this beer now is totally approachable, which is a hell of a thing for a 10% strong blonde Belgian ale. They made a beer with the sedimentation in it now. I could see it being completely approachable. Not like I can have a lot of it approachable, but like people could sip it and be like, I think I could like that. I could get into that. I could do this. I could do that. What a great beer. Very nice beer. Wow. Okie dokie. I wish I got charged $15.99, not $17. I don't know why the hell that happened, but because usually it's the tax is already included. I'm gonna have to inquire about that. I'm gonna inquire about that. But Chimay, yeah, Cinquante. Strong, sophisticated, and refreshing blonde ale with a balanced flavor and a floral fragrance, combined with hints of dried fruit and spices. The exceptional yeast isolated by Father Theodore, combined with the purity of the high protective water of the Abbey's wells, gives Chimay its unique richness. Since 1862, Chimay's ales have been fermented in the bottle. These secondary fermented ales have neither been pasteurized nor filtered, and only natural ingredients are used. The Trappist logo certifies that this ale is brewed in a Trappist abbey and that the majority of the profit is intended for social aid. Contains barley and wheat, as I expected. And yes, that is awesome. Don't lay your goddamn bottle down. Keep it vertical. Don't use a pint glass. Use a chalice. It's amazing how you can put visual pictures on bottles and bartenders still have no fucking idea what glass to serve you in. That is so fucking sad. Take 3 seconds out of your goddamn busy schedule and look what you're serving. It's pictured on the bottle. I'm not talking about Chimay, but I'm just saying there's other beers that I've noticed and people are like, oh my god, I didn't know. I'm like, oh, do you notice stop signs and things like that? Are you so oblivious? I don't know. It's your fucking job. It's funny. Yeah, that's what happens when I get about 20 minutes in. I start getting a little bit more real, like the real world. You gonna answer the phone? Anyway, yeah. So here it is. I don't have a train whistle, Eric. Sorry. I have an owl call in the truck, which I think is super cool. I think it's cooler than a train whistle. But I have a train whistle somewhere. It's at my dad's house. I might borrow it. But owl's still super cool. Ooh. Man, hit the spot. What a good beer. Yeah, love it. So, I'm not gonna throw all the praises of everything, the heavens down on the beer. So it's not like crazy, but this is quite the beer. So the beer without the sediment, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So it's a little abrasive, but it shows you what it's actually got. With the beer with the sediment, though, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. 8.5. Really good beer. Really good beer. Am I being a dick? Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go. So it's still staying at an 8 without the sedimentation, but I'm gonna bump it up. It's that good to a 9 with the sedimentation. So this much of the beer, right about there, is an 8, and then the more you get down, the better it gets. You know what I mean? So like about there is an 8. And then you can actually hugga, and then pour it in, and it's a 9 after that. So pretty damn good stuff. I like it. Oh, good. Anyway, this has been Paul from PABrewNews. Thank you for sticking with me. If you've stuck this way, if you actually stuck with me this far, put down hashtag stuck with it. I would love to see one fucking person put hashtag stuck with it down. Be fucking awesome. I'm just saying. Anyway, this has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. Bye-bye. Watch that finger. Here it comes. Wow.